Hi, welcome back to a GSM workshop. Something new today. I don't normally do these how-to videos, but I've moved the T2 bay window out of the workshop and I brought in the T3 Vanagon, which I just got, to do some welding. I'm going to show you how I repair a wheel arch section, and we'll go through a process. This may be a two-part video. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, quick look. I believe you can see the do this. You can see the T3 hiding behind the Jaguar E-Type engine, and I'm going to be replacing a rear wheel arch on the driver's side. So we'll just pause you and we'll have a look around. Okay, so the first video I did was when just after I bought it, and now I'm I want to do a respray in the next 2 weeks, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. It's not going to be an extensive respray. It's going to be to tidy it up only. So I put a new door on, a used door I should say, and I sprayed it to the color I want it. And you can see the difference in the whites. I believe this to be the original color. It's a Volkswagen, like an Alpine white. I can show you the code later. I got some rust repairs I'm started. So my plan is to cut out this arch here. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a lot of Bondo and fiberglass in here, around this area here, which is not, again, to the standard I work to. So my plan is to cut this out, and I have a new section to put in, a whole new piece to put in. I'm going to go through the steps. Here's the section I will be replacing it with. Right way around. Just put it on the floor here. And I'll show you the part number. You can pause and look at if you want to. So it's a galvanized piece, which is okay. I'm not keen on galvanized pieces personally, but on the inside, it'll certainly stop it from rusting. So let me put it on pause again. Oh, by the way, I get most of my parts from CIP, California Import Parts, for the Volkswagens. They've been really good service. I don't get any sponsorship or anything like that from them, but they've been really good to me for parts. So that's where I'm at. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this piece in. Okay, so the first thing I do is I offer up the panel where it's going to fit, roughly-ish. And I'm just going to mark, get my top of my pen off, where this panel will go. Also, it goes down this line here, all the way down. I don't know if you can see it over on this side, but up here as well. Right down to the bottom. Now, you can see where my outer limits are on the cut. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to cut right to this line. I'm probably going to be cutting this off, probably around here somewhere, across here, which will be down here. But I'm going to be cutting, my initial cut is going to be across here, just across the top of the arch, maybe a little bit higher, somewhere around there. Okay, and my left-hand side, again, I'm going to be cutting down inside my line, somewhere down here. So down here it's going to be the same. I'm not going to go to my outer limits. I'm going to be cutting down here. All I want to do for now is just see how bad this section is behind here. I can feel the fiberglass already. So let me go ahead and get my Milwaukee angle grinder out with a cutting tool on there, and I will cut out that piece. So just put it on pause while I get my tools ready. Okay, I've got my Milwaukee grinder, and now I'm going to start cutting. This is a scary part, actually, where I'm going to be making a lot of noise, a lot of dust. I'll cut this out, and I'll probably speed up this up in the video, so we'll just start cutting out. That's come loose there, that's good. I'll do the other side over here. I'll just cut the top piece off and we'll have a look underneath. That's still in there tight. Let's cut out the top piece. It's almost like I'm cutting through something here. Probably the Bondo, but I don't want to cut through the intersection, so I'm a little bit careful how deep I go. A lot of smoke, which implies there's a lot of Bondo in here. So this is, oh, you can hear it crackling away, I hope. Let's just pull this out. Oh yeah, I can see. You can see it is literally just, I don't know if you can see, this is just fiberglass matting here, up to here. So this may be a good place for my weld. We'll see. Okay. I'm loose, but I'm still attached to the inner down here. Okay. I think a cut across here and here will be the trick now. Again, a cut. Oh. Maybe not. Maybe just pull it off. Now, I hope you can see the extent of the previous owner's attempt to fix it. I can see the fiberglass. This is the inner section. All I got to do now is cut this. See how bad it is. I can see the filler, a lot of filler and Bondo down here. Let's get rid of this piece here. Yeah, you can see just where the Bondo is. It's a repair, which is probably okay back then, but it's not to my standards. Excuse me. I can actually see inside here now. New shock absorbers at sometimes, that's good. This seems to be the only really worst rust on the vehicle. Underneath is pretty solid and sound. Okay, let me get this section out here. So what I'm going to do here, probably going to cut around the arch here for now. There's a little bit, hold it on there. All right. Okay, now we're really getting into it, but this was like silicone. So what I want to do is really cut out higher up now. And free here. That's really where my cut line should be, across here. Still got my inner section there, which I'd like to keep. But it turns out how rusty we are. Okay, let me cut this piece out here. Now I can start seeing the inner section. I will think, okay, I can cut this out. I'm going to go a little bit further over. Well, we've got insulation behind here. I'm going to go a little bit further out of here so I can get this out here. And previous owners put insulation behind here. The other thing is, it's always handy to have a fire extinguisher nearby. My fire extinguisher is just on the other side of the vehicle. So now what I want to do is cut out this here, and we'll see what's going on behind here. It looks fairly solid. And then I'm going to go a little bit higher up, but I'm going to start using masking tape in a minute. So I'm going to put you on pause while I just finish this part off, and we'll see what the extent is. Okay, so excuse me again. I've cut out most of this and tidied up a little bit and gone back in. Probably going to bring it a bit further over here because I can see something going on here. What I'm going to do next is bring this line up to here somewhere, so I can see how much rust is actually in on this intersection here. The rest of it looks okay. Looking inside, it looks really good. And it's coming away quite nicely. Also, there's a bit of tidying up to do. And if I offer this up again, now I got no kind of reference points to work from apart from that one there, and there's one over here on the on this. Those will be my reference points to line up with when I put this all back together. So far, it's looking good. I think I will be cutting this off. I'm just wondering if I should do that now. So what I'm thinking is I want to bring this probably to here. I draw a line across there. So I think what I'll do is cut this first. I'll put a line across. I'll then mark it. But I also want to joggle. I don't know if you can really see this line here. I want to joggle it. So it's going to be like that on the end, and my car piece, the van piece, will fit in here. It'll be nice and flush. And I'll use clamps to weld it. So let me cut this off, and we'll come back and offer it up, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I cut the panel. I use masking tape to get a straight, nice edge along here, and I use this swage line here. So what I'm going to do is offer it back up. I'm going to use these swages here as my reference ish, and you'll fit out. So that one will go in there, and that will fit in there, like that, and like that. You've got to be careful here. Take your time to get it lined up. Okay, I'm going to hand hold it in there. That's close enough for now. Oh, it was. I got a strong magnet there. I can hold this in and do this, but that should be good enough for this part. So move a little bit. Awkward little piece. Just a bit of line in there and a bit of line in over there. So this is my line. And that one there. I know what I'm doing. But I don't want to cut to that. I want to come underneath there, where this line is here. But like I said, I want to joggle it so this piece will fit in underneath. Then I can draw 1/8 holes, and I can use my clips to hold it in place while I do it. So again, I'll put you on hold, and I'll get some masking tape and I'll mask this off. So as it's masked off, I'll bring you back online. So far, so good. Masking tape is really good because it gives you straight lines. That's where I want to be, just there. Actually, on this car, a different colour masking tape would be beneficial because you can't hardly see it. Okay, let me cut that out. I've got to put a new disc on my grinder, so I'll do that first and I'll put it back on. Okay, I've got my new disc on, and I've been thinking a little bit. I'm going to cut to this line up here, and I'll probably end up cutting out this where the line goes down here. So I can feel fiberglass behind here, and I can use this to butt up. So let me cut this out. You sit back and watch. And I need to get a new battery. Back with a freshly charged battery. Let's carry on cutting. That's nearly off. I'll do a little bit of cutting here. I'm going to go straight across to the edge here. I'll just cut this off here. I think I need to cut underneath here to get it off the inner panel. Get this out of the way, and also I got insulation tucked up in here as well. Just tuck that out of the way. I can start to see the extent of a rust. Whoops. Okay. Luckily, this inner bit isn't too bad. It's got surface rust, but that's it. I can tidy this up. Again, fiberglass. Get that out of the way. Now I can chop this bit off here, all the way down the right down the line, and hopefully this one will butt up against here, and I can line up here, and I can line up down there. All right, let's get this section out. That's pretty close. That's good. Let's cut this bit off here. Got panel mastic in here. That can stay on. I can redo that later. Just get this little bit of piece out here. That's looking pretty good. That's not looking too bad. I think that side is almost done. I need to be a little bit closer in here, I think. Let's do that. Okay, this side is nearly done. A little bit more tidying up to do. The idea is to bring that in to there. Getting it, I'm going to have to cut a slot out there, I think. Let's do that now. Now that will fit in here like so. Remember, I'm going to joggle this, and it's going to go up inside. Now what I want to do now, this is lined up pretty nice here already, looking good, is I'm going to cut a section of this out. I can't joggle this because it's on a curve and with this in the way, so it's going to be a butt weld up in here. So, but I don't want to go too far over, so I'm going to mark roughly where I want to bring it and use masking tape, and I'll cut a straight line down there. And it should be, and I can cut my inner one. I want to be somewhere there, not too far over. I'll bring that straight down. Okay, let me get back to you. I'm going to cut this off. So I'm going to cut it off down here, and we'll make it a nice fit. And I'll rust-proof this with rust cure. This is solid. It's just a bit of surface rust in here. And then I'll show you how I joggle my joggling tool, and we can get it offered up and hopefully welded in. Get back to you soon. Okay, let me show you progress so far. I'll cut out the left-hand side to butt up against here, and I can show you now the surface rust. I'm going to treat that in a second. I'll show you what I use. And I've tidied up down here as well. What I will do, what do I do with them? I'm going to use Clecos, which are these. If you've seen any of my previous videos, these hold the panel, this will hold the panel together. I'll do it. Let's go back to the car. All right. So far it's looking good. I was a little bit concerned about this area here at one point because I had a big gap, but when I was grinding away, it all came up fairly good. So the next thing to do really is while I do some other work on this, joggle this, I'll paint this up with a rust cure, and that should be good. Again, you can see the insulation previous owners have put in here, just fiberglass insulation just packed in. Yeah, that's it so far. It's starting to look good, and I'll put it on pause, and I'll go and get the rust cure, and I'll show you what I use. And I want it rest, but I'm going to blow this off first anyway, so we get a little bit dusty. So I'll be back to you soon. Okay, let's do some rust prevention from up here. I've given a good blow off, and it's just a little bit of surface rust on there now. I use this. I don't know if you can see what it is. There we are. It's called Rust Converter Ultra. I get it on Amazon. This is my second jug of it. I am not sponsored in any way from any of the stuff I do. This stuff is amazing. I've used it on a lot of my restorations, and it really does work. I do have another video just totally dedicated to this. It's a milky looking, so I don't know if I can show you actually. Anyway, it's a milky substance, but I do have a video dedicated to this with the follow-ups on it as well. So, and literally you just paint it on. And you can have put 1 or 2 coats on. And it goes dry to a very hard finish. It's water-based, so it's easy to clean brushes. But don't forget to clean your brush because it goes rock hard. And it will flow into places. It's quite thin. And it will turn black when it's curing it. So it has a chemical reaction with the rust. And it stops it dead in its tracks. And it also goes a very long way. And I'm quite liberal with it because I want it to go into any of the seams in here. I'm doing this before I do any of the work because hopefully this will be dry after I've had my lunch and joggled the new fender. Wheel arch, sorry. Just work it into all the spaces in here. And what I'll do afterwards, I will also spray up inside this panel with another rust or like a waxy substance, wax oil kind of stuff. If you're in the UK, here we have other things as well I use, and I'll show you what when I do that. So I'm giving this a good liberal coating of this because I want it to really go into all the nooks and crannies. I think that's it. Only really needs 1 coat. And that should be good enough. The rest of the car in here is in really good condition. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, we'll let that dry, and I'll show you how I use the joggling tool to make a joggle and fit it up, and how to use the clecos. Okay, this is my joggling tool. It's pneumatic, and I'm not too sure how easy I'm going to demonstrate this to you. I'll do my best. This will swivel. All it does, it fits over the panel, and you just press it in, and you work your way down the panel slowly. Now, I'll go a little bit further past the masking tape here. Go back over it, get a nice joggle. Okay, so let me see what I can show you. I need to turn my screen around if I can. Oh, maybe not. I'm going to put it on pause. Okay, now I have a screen on the camera. Can you see? maybe just how it joggles. Oh, that's a better view there, I see. So I do it all the way down, and that lip's going to fit underneath the car body part. So let me finish this off. I will slide it underneath and so it's going to look. So why do I do this instead of a butt weld? Personally, I think it's stronger. And it gives you a little bit of room for error as well. And when you weld in the valley, which I'll demonstrate later, you're not grinding so much of a weld off. Get my leg over here. And this tool also has a punch on it for a spot puddle weld, tight weld, making holes in the steel, which is really useful. Saves drilling. And it's also quite quick when you got used to it. I just make sure I feel the top edge as I'm going along. I do an overlap about 50%. And that is it. Nicely joggled. I don't know if you can, what we can see. You can see down there the lip. Let's go and see how it fits on the car now. What do I got going on here? Let me see. Oh yeah, we can see. Okay. This is going to go underneath. Like so. And I'm going to push it over that way a bit more. Not much more. And it's going to fit in. I've also got my datum lines here and here lined up. I'm good to go. So that is looking pretty good. Yep, I just need to make sure it goes that way a little bit. And I can butt weld down this side, or push that in. And if you can see, that's what it's going to look like. What I don't know is, I'm going to have to check this side, this swage line here. I don't think I got it on my other side. I'm going to have to check. If I haven't, I'm going to have to fill that in. Okay, so far so good. I'm liking it. I can clamp it there. I can use my clecos along here in a minute. A few of those to hold it in place. As long as I've got my datum lines lined up, which it looks like I have, I can be welding it after lunch. So I think the next stage will actually be, I'm going to clamp it here. I'm going to drill some 1/8 holes in to get the clecos in, and I can see what's going on a little bit. Great so far. I've got a little bit of weld to take out here, but I've got a fairly big gap here which will weld in, which will fill in. Which is a bit of a shame, but anyway. And we'll take it from there. And I will get back to you when I've got some of the Clecos in. Okay, I'm hoping the sound works on this. But as you can see, I put the Clecos in down the side, and I got some fairly good lines up with my datum points. And I can, when I'm welding, I'll show you after lunch, I can pull this in when I butt weld this. I'll be welding in the valley along here, and the same will be going down here. I can pull this in as I'm working my way down it. So yeah, down a fairly big gap, but I can weld in. I pull it together as I'm going down. Also on the rear side, I don't know if you can see, you might be able to see some holes where I'm actually going to puddle weld in there as well on that seam. So that's where I'm at. Let's come back and have a look here. For a morning's work, for a couple of hours, that's not bad work. So after lunch, we'll bring the welder out and we will weld it in. Now, I was thinking during my lunch what to do next, and there's a seal just here behind between the inner section and this outer section. What to do? I thought, it's in there pretty tight. I could just leave it as in tight and just put a seam sealer around it, or I thought I could weld it, but it's going to leave marks on there. It's also kind of awkward to weld up inside. And I do have some body adhesive here. So I'm thinking I'm going to take this off again, and I'm going to put some body adhesive along that inner and outer seal, and that will bond that in nicely, and then I can put seam sealer in afterwards, and that will waterproof it out. So I think that's the way to go. One of the nice things about using Clecos is they'll go back on, off and on, exactly the same place again. And I can start working my way down here. And it's almost possible to use seam sealer in here as well. But I am going to put some tacks in here and go through the puddle welds on the back flange area. Over here is okay. This is just ordinary butt weld. I'll do that soon. So I'm going to take off this, and I'll put mix up some body weld epoxy, and I'll put a smear of that on there. I'll put it back together again. So I'll put you on pause again while I get things ready, and I'll get this off. And that's about Clecos. I can take it off and on as many times as I like to get it right. Okay, let's get back to you. Okay, I've put the body weld bead all around here. Now I can put this back on, and it will suck up to it, and that will seal that off nicely and then bond it in. And like I said, the nice thing about using these Clecos is they'll go back into exactly the same place. So Clecos are easy to use, and you just have to line up one hole and push it in, and bingo, that's it. Do the same over here. Nicely, it pulls it in snug as well. Do the rest. These were made for doing aircraft skins. You can hear it click in, and they work extremely well for body work. I use them on all my body works where I can. You can hear it click. This one hasn't popped out yet. pull it in nice and snug. Now, when I put my finger down here, I don't feel a ridge. It's nice. Now I've just got some clamps for the bottom. I'll clamp those off, and I'll get back to you when I would do some welding. Okay, now I'm down to the welding. I just set my welder up so it's got a nice crackle, as they say. And the idea is you do quite large tacks. You don't want to do it all in one go because it'll get very hot and it'll warp. So I tend to go from here to here to here to here. Then I start in between, and I work my way around slowly. I let it cool down, and I might start going down the sides, then I come back and do a bit more on the top as well. So let's do some welds on camera. I've also got a light on here as well, so see what I'm doing. Helps. So I'm just doing a puddle weld. Well, not really a puddle weld. I'm bringing in a weld like that. So it's not for very long, and I just move my tip between the two surfaces, and it works. So when I'm doing a weld with my camera in close, it'll wreck my camera, and anyone see very much. Let's put that down where you were. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Just alter the angle here a bit. There we go. All right, let's put some welds in. Okay, that's good enough for the top for now. And I can start working my way down. I can hold this in so I get this smooth. It's pretty smooth anyway. Now, I did put a hole in here just now when I was setting the welder up, so try not to do that again. It will be filled in with steel. The welder's a little bit on the high side for this side here. There we go. I've got a weld going across. Yeah, that seems to be doing okay. Yeah, it's set up nicely. Gonna have to do a little bit of filler and hammering work just here. Push this in. Look, it's working out okay. I might leave that because I'm going to have to pull that one out a little bit, I think. We should over here and put a couple of welds. Oh, I'm going to take this off. I can stay on. I'm replacing these anyway. Okay. There is a seam looking down here, so I can put a grinder down here afterwards. I'm going to come back to there because I need to pull this out from behind somehow as well. I want to get it more flush than what it is. I'm trying to keep the amount of filler down to a minimum. I can go back up to here. That weld setting is just perfect right now. nice. So what I can do now is, the Clicos aren't doing anything right now, so I can take the Clicos out and finish off. And I think what I might do is I'll turn the camera off and I'll get back to you when I've got it welded in. Highly recommend if you're doing body work, these Clicos. Okay, let me carry on welding off camera and I'll show you the finished welding. Okay, let's show you after the welding. I filled in all along here. As you can see, filled in the spaces all the way down the verticals. Not 100% filled in, but filled in enough. Now down here, I wasn't too happy what was going on down here. So I put some welds in, probably 3/8 half inch apart, and I'm going to squeeze some body weld into here, and then I can carry this line on down with a grinder to make it look original. So next stage, get the grinding disc on it, and knock those back flat. And also notice, with this being a galvanized piece, my weld splatter is sticking to it, so it's obviously going to have to be roughed down anyway. So the goal of today is to get, and I'll show you as I go along, is to get this prepped, ready for painting. So I want to get this knocked down, ground in, and I'll mix some filler up, and I'll fill it all in, and blend it in. Pretty good. So just going to show around, just to prove that it is solid as it was when it was original. I'm very happy so far. I can go back a little bit and show you what it looks like. I think it's looking pretty good. Now the intent with this is not like the T2 I'm building outside nut and bolt. This is a rolling restoration, so it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to look very, very nice. So next I'll be actually sanding this bottom section down here, prepping it. I'm going to put some chip guard over it. Okay, I just thought I'd bring you back a few moments later, and I ground the welds down. Next stage now is just to use a skimmer filler. So I'm going to scuff up more of this white paint off. Actually, yeah, a bit more of this white paint off, and I can start filling with a bit of a skim over here. One of the things I noticed with having a galvanized panel is the sparks from the welding stick to the galv. It melts into it. That'll be knocked back anyway when I put a skim, the high build primer over it. This will be sanded off anyway. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. So next stage, I'll mix some filler up and I'll show you when it's filled in. So what it looks like.